I'm Liz Bears, and I'm with the Okaloosa County School District Instructional Technology team. Today's segment is going to be about having conversations inside of teams. So I've opened a practice team here and loaded a few members of the team. They're my friendly guinea pigs, letting me practice on them. And you'll see that I'm in the general channel. The general channel is meant to go out to everybody inside the team. And at the top of the page, the tab I've selected is Conversations. So the very first thing that happens is a listing of all your actions inside the team. If I wanted to start a new conversation, I would just click at the bottom of the screen where it says Start a New Conversation. Typing an @mention will allow me to mention anybody. So if I want to send an @mention to Mr. Mitchell, I start typing his name, and he comes up, and when I click on it, this message goes to him. So I can say, how are we doing on the project? And when I send it by clicking on the airplane, he can get that information and send me something back by clicking on the reply arrow right beneath what I've said here. One of the extra benefits of this is that there is a translation feature that works into all of the conversations. So if I was writing "Que pasó" to everybody in my channel and I click the airplane, all they need to do is hover over that particular message, click on the 3 dots, and they can come down and click Translate. Translate will immediately turn it into the language that is in my profile. So if they click on it, it will turn it into their profile. And so you see that happening right there. If I want to go back now and see the original message, I just click on that right there. So that's an interesting piece we can do with translation in our conversations. Another thing is we can send announcements out to the entire team. So when you click on the A, it looks like kind of looks like a formatting button. You just go ahead and come up to where it says New Conversation and change that into an announcement. So on the announcement page, you get all of the features that you have in Word, and you can type a headline, today's important news. So whatever it is that is important, for your group, you can do that. After school. And we can type the announcement, red bus will be late. I think I just did a typo there. There it is. Red bus will be late. And you can go ahead, you can change the color behind, or you could even add a picture. There's illustrations that are available, super easy to click on, or you can just have it color, or you can leave it as it is. So once you've done that, you could even add some sort of a little something that you wanted to and send it on its way. And everybody in the team is going to get that very important announcement. Now at some sites and in some teams, it wouldn't be appropriate for everyone in the team to be responding at this, being able to respond and asking various questions. So for this situation, you can click on the ellipsis next to the general channel and you can manage the channel. This will allow me to change the permissions for posting. The default is that anyone in the team or anyone in the team can post in any channel. You can adjust that, and you can show alert that the posting will notify everyone. If you have a particularly large team, you want to remind people not to ask for a new box of paper clips for everybody on the team because they'll all get notifications. It should be important things happening there. Or you can come down and say only owners can post messages. So any way that you want to set it, that's fine for your team. If I go into a different channel, say I go into the first grade channel now, everything is different. We are not following the same guidelines that we had in the general in the general channel. So for this, if I want to assign a moderator and say who's going to post in the first grade channel, then I go again to manage the channel and change the moderation. But it doesn't make sense to block conversations within a channel, since that's the whole purpose of it in the first place. So let me go back to my general channel and looking at other things that we can do. If I wanted to send a file, I can type my @mention, and I'm going to type a different name, another person that's in my team, and I've @mentioned them, and I say, here is that file I told you about. Another thing that we can do with the conversation tab is I can @mention one of my team members, type a message to them, and include a file. So it's going to ask me then if I wanted to find a file that's in another team or channel, or find something directly from my OneDrive, or in the case of machines that are not synced to the cloud, I can also go ahead and look on the device itself. So here is my file. I'm uploading a copy, and you'll see right there that it's a little Word file. That's not going to go unless I go ahead and click on the airplane. So it's important to give it a second to load and then send it on its way. A third really useful thing that we can do in the Conversation tab is to actually have a face-to-face conversation. So imagine I'm in my second grade channel and I need to have a conversation with one of my teammates. So I can either start typing here, or I can just come down and click on the Meet Now button. Meet Now is going to notify everybody that's in that channel that I want to meet. So I could click Meet Now, or I could actually schedule the meeting. So for the purposes of this, I'm going to go ahead and Meet Now, and I'm going to invite my colleague, and there he is. So it's calling him. As soon as I select his name, it's going to call him, and it's going to suggest that perhaps I go ahead and pull up another person into this meeting. If I do, I just click on the three dots and I ask them to join. I'm going to be getting both of their icons here, and I get choices then of what I can do. You'll see that, Mr. Mitchell, how are you today? I think my sound is turned down. So thank you for taking my call, and we worked on that project very hard. So once I could block my camera, I could block the mute on my microphone, or I could possibly share a document with him by pulling it up with the share button. Once I click on that particular button, my document will load. He'll be able to see it at the same time that I can, and we'll be able to talk about it. It makes sense that when you're having a meeting face-to-face that you might want to be able to move forward in the slide presentation at your own pace, or possibly control the pace of the presentation. So he has a button on his now that says Take Control. So he could take control of this and begin moving the PowerPoint along as he talks about it. And then if he did that, I could take control. There it is, he's taken it. And then I can take control back. I can also decide to stop presenting and go back to having our conversation face-to-face. One of the extra benefits in More Actions is that we can record the meeting, or we can actually start recording meeting notes. Once you click on the ellipsis and choose the meeting notes, you'll take notes, and it will say, give you a nice space that you can do that in. And then again, you could hang up when the meeting is over. Thank you, Mr. Mitchell. So at the end of every call, it asks you what the call quality was, and you choose a star and dismiss. So we've talked about conversations, sending announcements, attaching files. We already know about adding fun things. and moving into a face-to-face meeting. So I want to thank you for joining us today. This has been Liz Bears with Tech Time.